Hi golfers, Nick here from GOLFTEC Singapore. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a student transformation. He's worked with me for about 3 months. We've done 10 lessons here at GOLFTEC. So this would be a good video for you guys if you're new to playing golf or you're new to stack and till or work at GOLFTEC. Hopefully these ideas will kind of help your progress to improve quicker. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the key things that we did to help this golfer play better golf. First up, guys, we're just going to take you back to this first lesson of Ayoj. So as he set up to the ball, he did a pretty good job. We kind of told him how to set up. He'd never played golf before. Kind of told him how to hold it, how to stand. You can see he's bent forward nicely, feet turned out. So he had a good starting point. But however, as soon as he took the club back, you can see he lifted his head up in a bid to kind of lift this club up. In the downswing, you could really see how this club was coming way outside the plane. By the time he finished, he was bent forward, his arms were bent, he was kind of bending down, trying to hit the ground, but with his arms bent. So you can see he really struggled to control the low point of the swing path, the attack angle. So that's where we started. You could see the issues with this shot that would cause. So he would probably hit some low shots, top the ball, toe the ball. So from a good starting point, we could see he kind of lifted his head up like this. And then by the time he came down to the ball, that was a pretty common result where he'd just top the ball. And that's obviously not ideal if you're playing golf. You've got to be able to control the low point. I can see my strike point on the bottom of the club there. So really where you hit the ball in the face, where your club hits the ground are the most important things that you can learn. There's a few things that control that. Obviously the body movement, how you use your arms, how you use your wrists, your elbows, how you rotate, the angle that you swing the club on. All these things are crucial for you to control where this club hits the ground. Over the course of the lessons, we worked on a few things. So the first thing we worked on in this first lesson was literally just learning how to maintain a stable head position. So I would hold his head and just get him the idea of trying to keep his head stable. We talked a little bit about the grid on the ground here, the angle of the club, moving around the body. We talked about how the plane of the swing is important. But the main thing in this first lesson was really just trying to get Ayoj here to not bend his arms, to swing on a better angle and try and keep his head as stable as possible. It's important in the follow through here as you go through to keep your arms straight. You do have to keep moving your weight forward. In the original swing, as Ayoj went through, he kind of bent his arms, his chest down, didn't move his hips forward. And that was really the key to him improving, really. It was really trying to control better where the club hit the ground. So in this first lesson, we just started off with some slightly smaller swings, trying to keep the arms a little bit straighter and just building a basic motion first. I think that's really important if you're trying to learn a technique, if you're trying to work on your swing, trying to improve something, just starting off with some basic things. Once you've got the setup position, so which we had at setup, we had the feet turned out, we're bent forward, the arms were pretty good. It was really right from there where the issues were coming in. So that first lesson, just learning how to swing the club on a better angle, trying to keep the arms straight. As we progressed the lessons, a few things became apparent. The head movement was still an issue, but the main thing that really made a big difference for this golfer was how he controlled his elbows. And this is definitely something I see quite common in the Bay here, GOLFTEC and around the world, is how the golfer moves the elbows in the backswing. So Ayoj came back in the backswing, he kind of pulled this right elbow up, which kind of steepened the club, which is why he kind of led into that really outward attack angle and kind of outward path and downward attack angle coming into the ball, which is no good to get height, no good to get distance. From the front view, he looked like this. So you can see the right elbow here. So we had a ball between the arms and we just tried to get Ayoj to keep these elbows together. So when you're going back here, you need to feel like this right elbow tucks more underneath instead of pulling up as you pull the club back. You could see in that original swing, he kind of did this with his elbows and he kind of lifted the head up to bring the club up. You've got to feel like your left shoulder moves down as you go back. The right elbow tucks underneath. So it looks like this in the backswing, not like this, where the head comes up and the elbow comes up, because that, from the side view, looks very different. If I move my shoulder down, tuck my right arm underneath, the plane of my club here points down to where the ball is. If I lift this elbow up, it's a lot steeper. If I lift my head up, my low point control is all over the place. So just learning how to tilt the shoulder, how to use the elbows was a really key difference for this golfer. I showed him the head on the wall drill, putting the head on the fixed point, just learning how to move the hips, how to keep the arms straight. I think this is a really important part of progression for this golfer. He would practice outside of lessons, not necessarily hitting golf balls, but really just trying to maintain a stable head position and just try and control the body movement, which is kind of crucial for this. So this lesson on the arms was crucial. We did some practice swings. So we would, first of all, not necessarily hit balls, but we would practice the left arm, going to parallel, tilt on the shoulder, tucking this right elbow underneath here. That was the first thing. And then from here, we would learn how to keep moving the hips forward and bending back. You can see in his latest swing, the difference here in his finished position as he goes through. And this is crucial. When you're swinging through impact into the finish, you've got to take this club out of the ground. And the majority of golfers, they take the club out of the ground by pulling it up with their arms, a bit like this golfer did in the backswing. He kind of lifted his head up to bring the club up. Right elbow is really high. So your feeling is in the backswing was the left shoulder down, right elbow tucked underneath, and then coming down into downswing, move the hips forward. This creates a tilt here, which gives you more space for the arms to be straight, and then just keep pushing up and forward with the hips. This gives you that ability to take the club out of the ground. So if you can learn how to control your elbows, tilt your shoulder, it's going to help you hit the ground. Swing the club on a good angle. I would also set up some angled alignment sticks and noodles to try and help him control this. But really, the key was that elbow, tilting the shoulder, and then extending back as you push your hips through into the finish. You can see the strike on that pretty good. 4 degrees into out, 4 degrees down. Strike was perfect on that. So that was kind of the key things for Ayoj there, to really make sure you have a step-by-step process. For some golfers, it's a little bit different. That's why it's important that you do get some instruction, whether it's online from a stack and tilt coach or go and visit GOLFTEC, because you can really pinpoint the things that you as an individual need to work on. We're working on the same principles. We're trying to control the low point, which is important. If you keep a stable head position, you move your weight forward, you keep your arms straight as you go through. All those things are important, but the order that you have to do them and work on them can vary from person to person. So even though we're trying to achieve the same result, maybe the order of those things might be a little bit different. So that's why I was able to transform this golfer in just those 10 lessons. So hopefully, golfers, this video helps. If you did, please give it a thumbs up if you don't already. Please follow me on my other social media platforms, and I'll see you again next week for another video.